Have you ever been going about your day, everything's totally fine, and then, bam, you get hit with this overwhelming feeling of missing someone? It feels like a ghost from your past just walked right through you. Well, today we're going to dive into exactly why that happens.
It's this sudden, powerful wave of missing someone from your past, and it comes out of absolutely nowhere. You thought you were over it, right? You thought you were doing fine. So why does it still hurt so much? And maybe more importantly, why now? That's the big question we're going to break down. So let's set the scene.
So picture this. It's always a disarmingly simple, perfectly normal day. You might be at work, staring at a spreadsheet, or maybe you're just wandering through the grocery store, trying to figure out what's for dinner. Everything feels, well, completely ordinary.
And the person this is all about, an ex, a friend you lost touch with, maybe a loved one who's passed, they are not even on your radar. I mean, you haven't consciously thought about them in weeks, maybe even months. You genuinely feel like you've healed, that you've moved on with your life.
And then something totally random happens. You walk past someone and catch a whiff of a familiar perfume. Or an old forgotten song from years ago starts playing in a cafe. Sometimes it's not even that specific. It's just the way the afternoon light hits the wall. Some invisible little trigger. And that is the moment it happens. It's a physical thing, right? An ache in your chest, a sudden overwhelming tsunami of sadness so intense it literally feels like it could knock the wind out of you. And you're just left there, totally stunned, thinking, what on earth was that? Am I going crazy? The answer is no, you're not going crazy. You're just experiencing a really powerful psychological phenomenon.
See, here's the thing. The real problem isn't that you're missing them, it's the timing. It feels like an emotional ambush. When we miss someone right after they're gone, we expect it. We're prepared for it. We give ourselves permission to be sad. But when it happens months or even years later, it feels like our own minds have betrayed us. This ambush creates something psychologists call a secondary layer of suffering. And really, that's just a fancy way of saying it's not just about the sadness anymore. It's about the shame that piles on top of it. You start telling yourself, I should be over this by now. And that leads to confusion. Wait, does this mean I haven't healed at all? And all of that, together, just makes you feel completely out of control. This really paints the perfect picture of what's going on inside. It's like you've got two different brains at war with each other. On one side, you've got your logical brain. It knows the facts. It knows that the past is the past and that life has moved on. But then, there's your emotional brain, and it could not care less about logic. It's completely stuck in that moment, totally overwhelmed by the raw feeling that that trigger just dug up. So to really get what's happening, we need to think of the brain as a kind of time machine. It has this incredible and sometimes frustrating ability to just zap us back in time without our permission. So let's uncover the science behind these invisible triggers.
Okay, so when it comes to memory, your brain has two key players on the team. You've got the hippocampus. Think of it like the brain's librarian. It records the facts, the context. Where were you? What year was it? Who was there? But then you have the amygdala. It's the emotional amplifier. It doesn't record facts. It records the feeling, the joy, the sadness, the love. So when you were with that person, your brain literally created a hardwired connection between certain smells or sounds and the intense feelings the amygdala was recording.
Now this is why smell is the most powerful trigger of them all. It's fascinating. Your olfactory bulb, that's the part of your brain that handles smell, it has a direct neural superhighway right to your amygdala and hippocampus. It gets its own express lane. All your other senses have to go through a relay station first, but not smell. And this means a scent can light up a powerful physical, emotional memory before your logical brain even has a chance to figure out what you're smelling. Your emotional brain fires way before your logical brain can step in and go, hey, wait a minute, that was years ago.
But you know, these external triggers, they're only part of the story. A lot of this longing actually happens on autopilot, in those quiet, in-between moments of the day. Let's take a look at the science behind that. Have you ever noticed that you don't really miss people when you're super focused on a hard task? You miss them when you're driving, or in the shower, or trying to fall asleep. Well, that's because of something called the default mode network, or DMN. The best way to think about it is like your brain screensaver. When your mind isn't busy with something out in the world, the DMN kicks in, and its job is basically to review your life story, and a huge part of your story is your most significant relationships. So if someone was a big part of your life, your brain's screensaver will just naturally drift back to them.
This next concept, this explains why a lack of closure can be so haunting. It's called the Zeigarnik effect, and it's a simple idea. Our brains are way better at remembering things that are unfinished than things that are completed. So a relationship that ended abruptly, without a real conversation, without closure, your brain treats that like an open loop. It's an unsolved puzzle. So your brain just keeps bringing that file back up to your mental desktop trying to solve it, and we experience that as suddenly missing them. And finally, there's a powerful chemical reason for all of this. Being with people we love releases dopamine in our brain's reward system. Over time, your brain learns that certain cues, like a specific restaurant you always went to, predict that dopamine reward. So when you walk past that place years later, your brain goes, "Oh, I know this place, reward coming." But then the person doesn't show up. That reward never comes, and you experience what's called a prediction error. Your dopamine levels don't just go back to normal, they crash. And that sudden drop feels like a very real physical craving, almost like a withdrawal.
Okay, so now that we understand the why, the emotional ambush, the brain's time machine, all that science of longing, let's shift to the how. This is the important part. What do you actually do when that feeling hits? Here's a science-based toolkit for how you can ride that emotional wave without letting it pull you under.
The foundation for this whole toolkit is this one single powerful fact. According to neuroanatomist Dr. Jill Bolt Taylor, the actual chemical lifespan of an emotion in your body, the time it takes for the hormones that trigger it to get flushed out of your system, is only about 90 seconds. That's it. Any feeling that lasts longer than 90 seconds is because we are choosing, consciously or not, to stay in that emotional loop by replaying the thoughts that trigger the feeling over and over again. All right, so let's walk through these 5 steps. First, play detective. The moment the feeling hits, ask yourself, okay, why now? What just happened? What did I see, hear, or smell? Try to separate the person from the memory. A lot of the time, you're not actually missing them, you're missing the feeling of being young and carefree that old song reminded you of. Second, ride the 90-second wave. Don't fight the feeling. Seriously, set a timer on your phone for 90 seconds, close your eyes, and just feel the physical sensation. Where is it in your body? Is it a tightness in your chest, a knot in your stomach? Just feel the raw sensation, but don't feed the story that goes with it. Third, and this is for those open loops we talked about, close the loop. Write a final letter. Get everything you never got to say down on paper. But, and this is the most important part, do not send it, burn it, shred it. This little ritual gives your brain the closure it's been looking for. Fourth, rewrite the pathway. If a particular coffee shop is a trigger, don't just avoid it forever. Go there with a good friend and make a new happy memory. You're actively overriding the old data with new data. And finally, and this is maybe the most crucial step of all, differentiate missing from wanting. Acknowledge the feeling. It's a valid memory popping up. It is not necessarily a sign that you should want them back in your life.
And that brings us to our final thought here, which is all about reframing what this whole experience actually means. Because instead of seeing it as a weakness or some sign that you're not healed, we can choose to see it as something else entirely.
So, if you take one thing away from all of this, let it be this. Suddenly missing someone is not a sign that you are weak or broken. It is a sign of their impact on your life. It simply means that that person mattered. It's a testament to your ability to connect, to love, to form bonds so deep that your own biology remembers them. It's a sign that you're a human being with a big, working heart.
And this really is the bottom line. You can't always stop the memory, the ghost, from walking through the room of your mind. It's just going to happen sometimes. But you don't have to invite it to sit down for dinner. You can acknowledge it, give it a little nod, and then gently bring your focus back to the present moment, where your real life is actually happening.
So, I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. What if that sudden pang of missing someone isn't a sign that an old wound has reopened? What if, instead, it's just a landmark on the map of your life, reminding you of a place you once were and showing you just how far you've come?